What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Fight Franchise and our look at UFC 310 and the main event and co-main event on that card and our early predictions for that card and what we think is going to happen, and mainly focusing on the new star that is going to be joining the UFC, Kai Asakura, who is going to be in the co-main event and in his first fight, the debut fight in the UFC, taking on Alexandre Pantoja for the undisputed flyweight title. So let's kind of look into the UFC 310 card and kind of give our thoughts, early thoughts and early predictors on that card and what we think is going to happen in those fights. Mainly what I think of Kai Asakura, taking on Alexandre Pantoja. So main card looks as such. Obviously this may be subject to change, but right now it's looking like Anthony Smith versus Dominic Reyes. Great fight. Dominic Reyes coming off a huge win recently. I hope Dominic Reyes gets the KO and build himself back up in the division. I just think Anthony Smith is coming to the end of his career and it should just be kind of one-way traffic in that sense, where Dominic Reyes should get an easy KO, but you just never know with Dominic Reyes as of recent. Undefeated Movsar Evloev versus Aljamain Sterling. Very good fight in the featherweight division to kind of crown the next contender for the championship at featherweight. Just feel like this may be a bit of a snooze fest. And it's kind of going to be a bit of a weird fight on the card. We've got Vicente Luque, Nick Diaz. If I'm going to be honest, I do like the fight in terms of legend status for Nick Diaz and give him one more fight and one more payday. Should it be on UFC 310 and should it be on a different pay-per-view maybe? I think 310 it could have skipped and maybe been on the start of next year and just set Diaz off into the sunset at the beginning of next year and then next year induct him into the Hall of Fame. But, nonetheless, it's on the card. It's probably going to be on the main event, but we could do without it because, to be honest with you, you're probably going to see Luque, who's more in shape, probably got better fast twitch muscle fibers, do what Robbie Lawler did to Nick Diaz. Gane versus Volkov, going to be an epic fight. Not really too sure how it would go as of yet. Volkov is on a bit of a great run though at the recent, and coming off that win against Pavlovich. So yeah. Bilal versus Shavkat Rakhmonov, great fight. I hope Shavkat Rakhmonov, and I've got nothing against Bilal. I think Bilal's quite a cool and fun guy to have in the as champion, as in he talks trash. Don't think his fight style's that fun, but I do predict Shavkat Rakhmonov to be one of the best fighters ever. When I first saw him join the UFC and kind of go on his run, in my eye, he reminds me of a young John Jones. He's just got this epic fight style, epic finish ability, and just kind of has the opportunity to become the welterweight go. And he's got a huge mountain to climb to catch GSP. But if anyone can do it with the skill set they have, it's Shavkat Rakhmonov. But the big talking point of UFC 310 is Alexandre Pantoja will be defending his title against Kai Asakura. I made a video on my channel previously why Kai Asakura will fail in the UFC, because at the time my main talking point was because I thought the UFC and himself, he expressed, I want to fight in the bantamweight division. And my big argument against that was he is too undersized for the bantamweight division. He should fight at flyweight. He was coming out himself saying, I want to fight at bantamweight. When you look at who is the current bantamweight champion, Merab Dvalishvili, I'm sorry, if he can ragdoll O'Malley, Piotr Jan, and the rest of these guys like they're nothing, the only one he didn't do it to was Jose Aldo, who was a featherweight. You're thinking Kai Asakura is going to kind of stand a chance against Merab and that tenacious wrestling. Merab would just ragdoll him for 5 rounds and win a decision. It'd be as simple as that against Kai. Fighting at flyweight is the correct decision, which is what he's done. And Alexandre Pantoja is probably the worst fighter he could fight coming into the flyweight division. I think it's great. This is kind of, because I've been saying all year, who is going to be Alexandre Pantoja's next title contender since Makayev got kicked from the UFC, because I wanted Makayev to fight for the title. He was on the best win streak in the division, and the UFC have just pulled it out of the park and just said, nope, Kai Asakura, debuting fight in the UFC, you're going to fight for the title, which is awesome for him. and kind of his fan base and his family and the sport. You know, you look at guys, for example, like Beneil Dariush. Dariush fought tooth and nail in that lightweight division and never got a title shot. I think he got an 8 or 9 fight win streak and never got a title shot. Kyle Asakura doesn't even have a fight in the UFC and he's about to fight for a world title. He is a very lucky man. And I'm not saying he hasn't earned it from what he's done outside the UFC. He's probably done brilliant work. He has done brilliant work outside the UFC, but he's done nothing in the UFC. So to get a title shot off the bat, he is a very lucky man, because there's people who fought in the UFC tooth and nail and don't even get close to an undisputed world title shot. Look at someone like Tony Ferguson, never fought for an undisputed world title. Corey Sandhagen was on an epic streak, fought for interim gold against Piotr Jan, never fought for undisputed gold. Kai Asakura is getting that chance off the bat. So he's a very, very lucky guy. I just think out of all the people he could be fighting, I think Alexandre Pantoja is a bit of a nightmarish matchup for him. I think Alexandre Pantoja is one of the most well-rounded MMA fighters currently on the roster. I think he's got so much going for him, which is going to kind of nullify Alexandre Pantoja. Kai Asakura. When you look at Pantoja's game, Pantoja's got striking, grappling, jiu-jitsu, cardio. You know, his cardio does dwindle in fights, that I will say. But he's got strength. He's got 5-round fight experience recently. He's fought the best of the best in his division. But he's also recently, the one thing I've noticed, he's fighting smart. He reminds me a bit of, it's going to sound a bit weird, Valentina Shevchenko. Before Valentina got the belt, she was a very exciting fighter to watch. Head kicks here, very striking, fun striking style. When she got the belt, she would just get the best path to victory, which was grappling, putting people in the crucifix and just battering them. Pantoja's been kind of doing the same. Pantoja, when you see his title fight win against Moreno, that was one of the best fights of the year last year. He won it in epic fashion. You look at how he steamrolled Alex Perez, took him up against the fence in 1 minute, rear naked choke, done. Bob's your uncle, get out of there. And then when you look at his title defenses against Brandon Royval, wrestled, kept it quite boring, safe on the ground, dominated on the ground. Steve Erceg traded on the feet back and forth where they had moments, grappled, kind of dominated on the ground and kind of won with control against Erceg. I feel like he can do the same against Asakura, because when you look at Pantoja's record, Pantoja, first of all, has never been finished. He's one of the toughest guys on the UFC roster. Like, when you go tenaciousness and toughness, Pantoja's up there, man. He's a dog. When you go on his record, he's 5 losses. He's never, ever lost or been finished in a loss. He's only lost decisions. And when you look at one of the worst losses he's had in his career was against Davidson Figueiredo. I think Figgy dropped him, if I remember correctly. Look how much power Figgy carries compared to Asakura. I think Figgy is the most powerful puncher in the, flyweight history. Asakura doesn't carry as much power as Figgy, so for Asakura to get a KO, he's going to have to be picture perfect to knock out someone like Pantoja. And then when it comes to the grappling and jiu-jitsu, Pantoja is a brilliant grappling and brilliant jiu-jitsu. So you'd say he'd nullify Asakura there as well. So Asakura's avenues to victory are a decision. And to decision someone like Pantoja with that skill set, it's not highly likely he's going to do that. So I'd probably go Pantoja going into that fight. That would be my kind of early predictions. But UFC 310, and I will do more in-depth breakdown of the card with kind of looking into both guys' fights, careers, and see where there are openings for both guys later down the line, closer to maybe the pay-per-view. But when you look at UFC 310, shaping up to be a really fun card, fun main card. Let's just see if they've got anything on the have they got anything on the co-main event not co-main event, the prelims. Because let's see. No, I can't see anything that they've put on the prelims as of yet. But as of now, a very, very strong card. Can add some very fun fights to the prelims as well. But it's, a very great way to end quite a lackluster year for the UFC in 2024. What do you guys think of UFC 310? Who would you have winning in some of these key fights? I think everyone's going to be rooting for Shavkat Rakhmonov, but who have you got in the co-main event of Alexandre Pantoja and Kai Asakura? Do you think Asakura can prove the world wrong and cause one of the biggest upsets in UFC history, and in his first fight in the UFC create history, being a debuting star and winning the world title? Or do you think Alexandre Pantoja extends his reign in the flyweight division? Let us know your thoughts and predictions down in the comments below. Leave a like if you've enjoyed the video. Subscribe for more MMA and fight content coming soon. We hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll catch you in the next one.